It's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Dr. John Deloney, #1 best-selling author, PhD in counseling, Ramsey personality, host of one of the most popular shows on the Ramsey Network these days, the Dr. John Deloney Show. He's here to help. And so if you want to talk about relationships or crazy in your family, he's here to help with that. And, we'll talk about your life. In general, what we do around here is we talk about you right in front of you, and we get paid for it. So thanks for hanging out. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Ronald is with us in Charlotte, North Carolina. Hey, Ronald, what's up in your world?
Nothing too much. How are you doing, Dave?
Better than I deserve, sir. How can I help?
So I have a kind of a strange situation. My sister called me this morning, and she was crying, and she told me that
from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. George Kamel, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, breaking free from broke. He's my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. You jump in. We'll talk about you right in front of you. Josh is in Charlotte, North Carolina. Hey, Josh, what's up?
Hi, hope you guys are well.
Better than we deserve, brother. How can we help?
First, thanks for your time. My question is, how should me and my wife go from 2 incomes to 0?
What do you mean? That's so confusing.
How do we go from...
What happened? Tell me what the flip's going on. I don't understand.
So I lost my job yesterday.
Oh, why?
Well, it's a lot of details. Basically, I wasn't performing the job up to snuff.
Okay. What were you making?
40 grand.
What were you doing?
I was a market research assistant.
Okay. And how long had you been in the job?
6 months.
And she lost her job yesterday, too?
No, she was actually planning to leave. She gave her a notice about 2 weeks ago, and she's working through mid-August.
So just really bad time.
Why was she leaving?
Yeah.
She's been just overwhelmed with this work, and she didn't like it, because she was trying to pursue something that made her happy, and she was...
And nothing was lined up.
But she doesn't have a new job. She just quit.
Correct.
Well, that decision came back to bite you. Okay.
So can she go back and change her mind?
Up the dock before you jump off the dock.
Yeah.
You get wet, otherwise you get down.
Oh, yeah. My brother's there and everything.
Not yours, hers. Yeah. Have the new job before you give notice.
She was going to not work for a few months.
Why?
I made it up. That made it up to cover on
40 grand? Yeah, you're rolling it.
You guys have kids?
No.
Do you have any debt?
Only one student loan that's not due until November 2025.
And how old are you two?
We are early 30s. I'm 33. She's 32.
And you're looking for 40 grand?
So, the situation is that you have two career crises simultaneously. And the answer is that there is a short-term answer and a long-term answer. The short-term answer is both of you go get 6 part-time jobs today. Today. I want you delivering pizzas, cutting grass, walking dogs, picking up dog food, cleaning toilets. I don't care. I want you to working hard today, which is something neither one of you have been doing a lot of lately.
Can I give you some more details about kind of what happened with my job?
And how does that affect what you've got to do from today forward?
I have to determine if I can still work.
Okay.
My father passed away mental health disabilities, and since he passed away, I've been going through trauma therapy, and I got diagnosed with PTSD today, and I'm kind of broken a little bit because I've been having panic attacks, and that's the reason I lost the job, is because my mental health has deteriorated to so much I couldn't understand what they wanted, and I was doing really, really well, and then my mental health fell apart. Mourning an abusive parent is another beast entirely.
Yeah, it is.
We worked very, very hard. It's okay. I didn't want to give too much info at the beginning.
Well, I mean, it affects the advice, so you're advised to do that. So,
slow down.
all right. There's a couple things here. Number one.
Can I give you one piece of info as well?
Please, that's okay. Apparently,
Our overhead is extremely, extremely low. We only spend about $500 on bills, and we live for free because we live in a family home that's paid for. So we don't have very many bills. So that's why we have the safety of 3 to 6 months savings, because we have over a year and a half savings just to live on. But we're not going to. But that's the security blanket we had so that she left her job. And then my dad died, and it all blew up.
Why do you live on $500 a month? So how much food costs? You eat for free?
The thing is, you have to pursue a path of healing for long term. Part of extreme trauma, I'm not a therapist, that would be Tony, he's not here today. But part of dealing with trauma is, he talks about all the time, facts are your friends. And the thing that we do know from the financial side of the equation is that panic attacks are made worse when you have no income and you're broke, and you have no sense of purpose. So the dignity that hard work gives you, even if it's mindless work, can actually help with dealing with depression, anxiety, and panic attacks. That's what Deloney tells us, and that's also from a very practical standpoint what we've seen, because being afraid about money while you're afraid about and dealing with all the other trauma issues at the same time makes it worse. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, and the great thing is I'm not worried about money in the least. We like I said, our overhead's way more.
I got that. But you should be. You're 30 years old and you have no income coming in. That should worry you. I don't want you panicking over it, and I'm not trying to throw you into a tizzy here, but you should, you're pretty chill about something you shouldn't be chill about. And oh, by the way, so's your wife. Okay? Let me rewind just a second, okay? My husband is dealing with mental health issues. His dad passed away last April, several months ago. That has made his mental health issues and trauma and PTSD and panic attacks come to the forefront. He's really not functioning well at work. So what am I going to do? I'm going to quit my job because I don't like it. That's completely unwise. And ridiculous. Yeah. Do what?
I take the blame.
Why would you take the blame?
He said he asked her to quit her job.
Okay.
By the way, losing the job is more trauma. That's another trauma that you've got to add to this.
Both of you being gainfully employed, short-term and long-term, as soon as possible, is helpful to mental health issues. It's also wise. I'm going to sit at home and try to heal on my couch while doing nothing, and my money runs out. Is not a good mental health plan. It's not a good financial plan. It's not a career plan. So you guys need to go back to work at some level, whatever level you can function, and she needs to yesterday. Don't rely on politicians or the healthcare system to do what you can do for yourself. We teach personal responsibility on The Ramsey Show, and that's why I'm excited to tell you how you can take your family's health into your own hands. A medical emergency kit from the Wellness Company. I got mine, and I can tell you this is not some rinky-dink first aid kit with Band-Aids. It comes with real prescriptions prepared by leading doctors to treat over 30 common illnesses. This kit can treat infections like strep throat, pneumonia, UTIs, and bronchitis because you have the prescriptions on hand like a Z-Pak, amoxicillin, or ivermectin. And if you start your meds faster, you get well faster. The kit gives you peace of mind. No doctor visits, no pharmacy lines, no copays. Wellness Company medical emergency kits help put you in control of your family's health. So go to urgentcarekit.com/Ramsey, answer a few online questions, and get your kit rushed to your door. Use the promo code Ramsey for a 15% discount at checkout. That's urgentcarekit.com/Ramsey, promo code Ramsey. George Kamel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. Open phones at 888-825-5225. It's a free call. Some say the advice is worth it. Exactly what you pay for it. Dave is in Orlando. Hi, Dave. How are you?
Dave, I'm wonderful. How are you?
Better than I deserve. How can I help?
Well, so first thing I want to say is thank you so much, because my wife and I followed your steps, and we were debt-free and have been debt-free for quite a while. The reason I'm calling is I live in the Villages. I'm widowed, unfortunately. 2 years ago, my wife passed away. I have no children. So when I go, everything's basically going to get liquidated and given away as donations and things like that. My house is paid off. It's worth about $410, $420. And I want to get your opinion on, in my situation, if you think I could get a reverse mortgage to go out and have some fun with that money.
You have any other money?
Yeah, I'm good. Yes.
Well, what's good? How much money do you have?
Yeah, well, I probably got about 1.2
in your mutual funds, in your retirement.
Mutual funds, retirement accounts.
And how old are you?
I'm 65.
And so why would we not use 1.2 million for fun?
Well, I'm just saying, I hate to see a lump sum of, $410,000 just get liquidated and donated out there. If there is an opportunity to go maybe grab a little bit of that cash and, go on a long trip or something like that, I just want to find out if not a reverse mortgage, do you have any other advice as to, how I would be able to get my hands on some of those funds?
Yeah.
Just for enjoyment, because it's just sitting out there.
Well, you got 1.2 sitting there too.
Yeah, I know.
So you got a lot of enjoyment ahead of you.
Yeah.
Congratulations, by the way. You've done very well. And number one, let's just state up front, reverse mortgages are a very bad product.
Okay.
They have higher interest, higher fees, and a higher foreclosure rate than any other type of mortgage. And of course, there is an end to it. They'll only go to about 65%? Or
Yes, I believe so. About
the
two-thirds.
loan to value on it. And so you really can't get that much of this out. But I understand the basis for your question. Here's the problem with your question. You're 65 over the next 20 years, if you live to be 85, which if you're healthy, actually there's a fairly good statistical case to be made that you would live that long. Do you have any major health problems?
Just a little bit of high blood pressure, and, as with all of us, we'll overweight, but nothing other than that.
Yeah, okay. Nothing 20 pounds drop wouldn't fix. Okay. I don't know a guy like that, but anyway. Yeah, you and I are about the same age. But anyway, so what would I do in your situation? The problem is if you put this property in danger by having debt on it of any kind, or you sell it to cash out of it, then you're very vulnerable in the largest, most expensive item on your budget, which is housing. And housing goes up every year if you haven't done something to lock in the cost. By owning the $400,000 property, you've locked in all your costs. And so you've got a very stable retirement situation. No, I would not touch it, because you're going to need a place to live for 20 years. And if you want to mortgage it, the last 2 years if you're alive, if you happen to know what that is, if you want to mortgage it and go blow the money somewhere, that's fine. But I mean, you pretty much got to blow $1.6 million between now and the time you die if you don't want to leave anything.
Okay, yeah.
What is your retirement income now? Where is it coming from?
I'm bringing home about $6,000 a month.
From what?
Social Security and some current investments that are paying off for me now. Some annuities and stuff like that.
So you're not even touching the 1.2?
I'm touching it a little bit, but it was kind of built to start paying me after I turned 65. And I just recently turned 65, so over the next few months, things are going to start paying out.
Okay, so you could set up a situation where you had a $200,000 a month, $200,000 a year income pretty easy.
Yeah.
And really, you would be deteriorating it maybe, but not a bunch.
Okay.
And with your other income that's coming in too. And so, and you can do anything you want to do with $200,000 probably.
Yeah.
And not really mess up everything here. Now, if I were in your situation, the last thing I would spend through would be the house. If you want to blow some money and have some fun, blow through the $1.2 million, obviously leaving yourself enough to eat in your ancient years.
How much are we talking here? You said you want to go on a fun trip. Is this like 10 grand, 20 grand?
He just doesn't want to leave this. He didn't want to sit around and do nothing and leave all this money to nobody that he cares about.
Correct.
That's the bottom line. So if you could actually figure out a way to have spent through almost all of it by the day you die, you'd be happy. That'd be your mathematical goal.
That is my goal, yeah.
Yeah. So,
only we knew that date. That would make things a lot easier for us.
I'd lay out a 20-year game plan using the rate of return on your investment portfolio.
Okay.
And have a 20-year game plan, and so that dictates if I want this 1.2 at a current growth rate of 11% on the mutual funds or whatever growth rate you want to use, I need to spend X number of dollars or give away X number of dollars while I'm alive per year to end up with nothing. To end up with nothing when I'm 85, but a paid-for condo.
That makes sense.
Yeah, you could kind of back out a portfolio game plan that way. It's just an aggressive spin where you've been the opposite for your whole life. That's how you got a 1.6 million.
And barely touched it. It's amazing. That's impressive.
I think you'll get joy out of doing some things generously with the money and spending some of the money on just fun stuff. Way in excess of what you're used to.
It doesn't sound like he's been spending.
No, it's my point.
He's not broke, so there's no need to add risk into his life.
The house should be the last thing you mess with, though, because that's your point of sustainability. Your point that gives you a place to live in peace, no matter how old you are. And I guess I'm gonna add one of them because Dave, the other thing that Sharon and I are doing, and our net worth is even more zeros, but and you're at a place you can do this too. You don't need to go to a nursing home. If something happens, you can rearrange with whoever, friends or family or around you, to help you hire full-time help, and you can stay in that condo, the rest of your life, and literally into your last days. And so you can hire a medical butler,
have some higher quality of life,
and just have somebody there to serve you. And you've got your own assisted living game plan and a huge quality of life. You've got the money to do that. And so I want you to hold back enough to cover that too.
Well, and think about over the next 30 years, property taxes will go up, his homeowner's insurance will probably go up. So there's some factors to think about.
Yeah, he's not going to run out of money on that. But if you want to budget in the last 5 years of your life, an extra $100,000 here for help.
That's a good way to
That would
go.
also be called fun. You know, that would also be called, because I'll guarantee you that if something happens that I'm debilitated or Sharon is, we're not going to a nursing home to just live. We don't need to. I mean, we've got a beautiful home, one level, elevator, or whatever. We can do whatever we want to do, and I'll just fill it up with help.
Get one of those Stairmasters.
And do what. Don't need that. Don't need got the elevator. But thanks, George.
I just thought it was cooler.
It's nothing cool about that at all, George. But the anyway. You see what I'm saying?
You got
I mean,
choices,
you
Jeff.
self-insure and you just bring in, but people like us that have, like that Dave and this Dave that have gutted it from the ground up, we don't think about bringing in help. It's not, we're not those kind of people. But you need to think about it. It's a good idea.
Absolutely.
These days, it's not if your identity gets stolen, it's when. And the only ID theft protection plan I have ever recommended is from Xander Insurance. It helps real people with real life situations. Like the call we got on the show recently where a woman's abusive ex opened a credit card in her name and racked up over $8,000 in debt. Then the bank sued her even though the charges weren't hers. What a mess. With Xander's help, she was able to get the entire nightmare cleared up, and now her family is officially debt-free. Listen, Xander's Identity Theft Protection is the best option out there. They have all the cyber tools and monitoring services you need. They cover all types of ID theft, and they even include up to $2 million in stolen funds protection. In the end, though, you need an ally, someone on your side to take over the work and fix the problem. That's what Xander is all about. Go to Xander.com to learn more or call 800-356-4282. They say that memory is activated by smell, well, primarily. You smell certain smell and take you back. The other thing that causes you to lock a memory in is deep emotion. You're extremely angry or afraid. You have a clear lock on that memory. I have a clear lock on that from 35 years ago. I remember exactly where I was in which broker. I can take you there right now and I can show you the aisle. Like 5 aisles across, and that was the second lane. Because that was the moment when I reached the point that I said, this isn't working. I'm standing there paying for food, and as I'm writing the check, because I know that you wrote the check, as I'm writing a check, I didn't know if there was money in the account, and I didn't know if there was money in the account, if I was actually using money that should be used to pay the light bill. In other words, am I trading this bag of groceries for my electricity getting cut off? And that, for some, it wasn't a panic attack. I get today you might call it that. I don't know. I just became overwhelmed with this feeling of how stupid I was, and how this level of terror, this constant knot in my stomach about if I'm can't even cover basics of life because I'm buying another basic of food. And that's the last time I had that feeling.
What happened after that?
Did a budget.
That was it. That took away all the...
Yeah, because if you have a budget laid out and it says you spend, I'll make up a number today, $800 on groceries, $700 on groceries, right? $1,000 on groceries, whatever it is, I don't know. You just put it in there. You're going to spend that. You also have the number in there for electricity. And so you know what you've got to spend on the grocery, and there's not all this chaos and stress and fear associated with every single money transaction, because it's simply a boring plan. Every dollar has an assignment before the month begins, and it gets rid of that I don't know, grocery store terror attack, whatever you call that. I don't know what you call that.
bill anxiety.
I'm sure there's a technical...
The Gen Z's come up with the trend.
But yeah, probably got something to do with the price of eggs. But I distinctly remember being afraid.
Which is unlike you, I might add.
I'm not afraid very often. I'm not a fearful person in general, but everybody gets afraid sometimes. But I remember going, I'm in control, and I've got little children and a wife, and I suck at this, you know.
And you had a finance degree at that point.
I got a finance degree, and I was making, I had made and lost $1 million by then, you know, and didn't matter. I can't even buy a bag of freaking groceries without being overcome with fear because I don't know what else I'm screwing up while I'm buying food for my family. You know, it's so basic, right? That's so dumb. And so I went home, got a yellow pad out, put okay, this is what we've got coming in this month. This is what we're going to spend. Every dollar had an assignment. You know, we're a Christian, so we're going to tithe our church. That's the first thing. We're going to do our generosity. Then we're going to do this. Then we're going to do this. We're buying food. We're going to buy lights. We're not doing all this other crap. We're not going out to eat until we've covered these basic walls. And we started living that way. And we've not had a single month of our lives that we don't have a plan for every dollar of our, because it just gives me such peace. And that chaos is gone. That's why we named our app Every Dollar that we built.
Come a long way since the yellow pad.
Yeah, and there's like tens of millions of people using it. And I guess you're, you know, and I hope most of you are having the same result where you don't have this overwhelming fear that no plan and chaos gives you. Plan and no chaos, no disorganization, only organized planning. And all of a sudden peace comes. It sounds so dirty, but it really happens. And you feel like you got a raise.
Oh, absolutely. Because you realize, I thought we were spending.
Where has this money been?
We're not spending $200. We spent $500. We got to do something about it.
Where is this money?
So it helps you choose reality.
Yeah.
Here's how much we actually made. Here's how much we need to spend in order to hit our goals.
And I remember sitting in a small group. I stopped by. It was over in Knoxville, Tennessee. I was actually in the suburb of Knoxville, towards the mountains. And I stopped in this church that was doing a financial peace. They said, hey, if you're around, come by. So I stopped in there doing a financial peace class. So I went and I was sitting in a small group, 15, 20 people sitting around. And I'm just sitting there listening to them. And they're some pretty funny stuff. I mean, but this one old guy sitting there in overalls, he's like, yeah, I done figured out while we got no retirement, we've been eating it. We got to eat every freaking night. $1,200 last month. He goes, that budget's revealing. You know, it was a genius. You know, he's like, I know why we got no retirement, we've been eating it. You know, that's a typical American right now. Plus or minus the overalls and the accent, but oh, come on.
I prefer the accent, though. That makes it better.
Well, it's a true story. I mean, it's exactly how it is.
Were they weirded out that you were sitting in the class?
Yeah, like Elvis showed up here, jam session or something. But yeah, but anyway, the guy was just, he's like, this thing's revealing.
It is kind of a
when you sit down and you do a budget on your Every Dollar app, and you and your spouse are in agreement, for the first time ever, maybe, you've had a sane discussion about money that didn't involve drama, hyperbole, and a knockdown, drag-out freaking argument, right? So we actually are in agreement and alignment on our money instead of like, well, whatever you want to do, honey, with your eye roll, right? And that kind of crap.
That's
right?
not personal. I feel like
that definitely has happened. I can promise.
You've been on the business end of that one.
I've been on the other side of that one.
Yeah, it's like a
whatever you want to do, honey, means I think you're stupid and you're about to wreck the car. Stop driving it that way. That's what that means. If those of you that don't know, if you don't speak passive aggressive, that's what it means. So the budget gets rid of every bit of it, because it's like you don't get to say I messed up the money because we did it together. If it's messed up, maybe you was in it too.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, that's the thing. So we decided this crap together. And that's why this Every Dollar app is so freaking successful. So you guys go download this thing as fast as you can. Get it at the App Store for free, the Google Play and all that. And you can go to everydollar.com if you want to do it on desktop. I don't care. If you want the upgrade version, it's a couple of bucks. It's not much. And you connect to your bank, and it's got all the paycheck planning features and the baby step features in it and all that stuff. But tens of millions of people are doing this now. It is the world's best budgeting app, and it was born because this redneck hillbilly standing in line at Kroger 35 years ago going, you're an idiot, talking to myself. I'm not living like this anymore. I don't want to be this scared anymore. I don't want to be this incompetent anymore. I don't want this taste on the back of my tongue that tastes like regret. I don't want that anymore. And that's how this app was born. It's not like, well, we just said no, this is like, oh crap, this stuff stops
We
now.
need to do this.
This stops now. And if you're there, we got the tool, baby. This will do it.
It is a financial epiphany. If you want to start reading from the same sheet music, instead of having just musical chaos in the house, wondering what the flip's going on, this is it. It's that shared thing we both look at for accountability and go, we both agreed to this, and if we stick to it, we're going to have this thing called money.
Now, I promise you, if you're married, your spouse is not like you. If two people just alike get married, one of you is unnecessary. Y'all are different.
One person hates your spreadsheet, I guarantee it.
One of you is a nerd, one of you is a free spirit. One of you is a saver, one of you is a spender. One of you is screwing with the thermostat all the time. And the other one is like, don't you understand how thermostats work?
Don't touch it.
Leave your hands off the thermostat. If you turn it way down, it cools off faster. No, it doesn't. That's not how it works. This is how marriage works, boys and girls. If opposites attract, you need to get on the same plan together. Everydollar.com. This is the Ramsey Show. So here's a quick math refresher. There are only 24 hours in a day, so your business needs to streamline tasks that are time suckers and focus on activities that make money. So to reduce headaches as they scale, smart businesses use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. NetSuite helps you improve efficiency by bringing all your major business processes into one platform. So join the more than 37,000 smart businesses like Ramsey Solutions that have done the math and graduated to NetSuite. And right now you can download NetSuite's KPI checklist absolutely free at netsuite.com/Ramsey. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey. George Kamel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us. Maya is with us in Atlanta, Georgia. Hey, Maya, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Hi, George. Thank you so much for having me.
Sure. What's up?
So I wanted to first say that I am 27, and I'm currently in my master's program, and I'm making $35,000 a year. At the end of my master's program, I'll make between 70 to 85K.
Cool. What's your master's?
And, it is in applied behavior analysis.
Okay.
It helps people change their behaviors, for autism work right now.
Excellent. Good career field. Good for you.
Thank you. So I wanted to bring up a question. So I am in a awesome relationship, and this individual, he is a soldier, and we've been dating for a year and a half now. We've gotten to see each other, how we work financially, meet each other's families, and we've now started to have the conversation about what it would look like to come together, right? He's been married before. He is open to being married again. And my hesitation is because we're both believers, and because I know that I have $46,000 in debt. It was not my plan to come into a marriage this amount of debt, right? So I'm starting the baby steps now. So when we do get married, it's not a baggage that I'm bringing into the marriage. So my question is, as a woman who has a boyfriend, right? How do I present this conversation to him of, hey, let's do it right, and get married after he comes back from deployment, and he has a daughter, and I've met his daughter first, or we think of another option, because I don't want to check, right? I don't want to play house at all.
Is that what he's wanting?
Yes. She said that it would be for the progression of our relationship, and for me,
That's not a thing.
yeah.
Okay. She knows that. What's his rush to do this before getting married?
I think it's because he's seen me in a hard place for the past year financially. And I was living with my mom, and so I am seeing me in
When
a
does he
hard
come
place.
off? When does he come off?
So he comes from deployment September of 25. Mm-hmm.
Where
But
is
he's
he?
not currently. So he's not currently deployed. But he is away. But he will deploy in January. He goes to Europe.
Okay. So if you were married, you would go with him to Europe?
No, it's a combat zone, so I wouldn't be able to go.
How long will he be deployed in January?
9 months, so from January to September.
So if you were married, you would be at home with your husband deployed for 9 months?
Correct. Mm-hmm. And where he lives, my current job, I could just transfer there because there's another office.
Well, I would not delay marriage on your $46,000. If both of you are of the same mind that we get rid of the debt as fast as we can, I'd get married regardless of when the debt, where the debt is. I would not use that. I agree with you. I would not move in together. And so then based on that, we just got to figure out when we're going to get married. And it sounds like sooner rather than later. A good friend of mine's daughter got married a couple of years ago with Green Beret. And 4 weeks after they were married, he was gone for 7 months. And can't even talk about where he was.
Mm-hmm.
Totally top secret missions, right? And so those the Green Berets, SEAL teams, and those kinds of folks go places, and most people don't know they're there. So in fact, that's the whole goal, is nobody knows they were there. There's mysterious things happened, and then they come home. And so you know, that kind of stuff. So that's what you're marrying. And you're going to have some of that. So she got married literally, and I think they had a month together, and then he was gone for 7 or 8 months, and that was about 4 or 5 years ago, and they've got 3 kids now. So and he's still good. He still goes out on missions, and young, very young. But anyway, that's what you're signing up for. It sounds like, and so I'm saying they didn't wait until his deployment was over. They got married. And then he went on deployment. You know, he took off, did a mission, and he was gone for 7, 8, 9 months, whatever it was. And so it's kind of like your guy. So all of that to say, if I'm in your old shoes and you're both ready to get married, get married.
Okay.
Now.
Okay.
You know, and it solves all your problems. But the progression of our relationship is absolute bullcrap.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but I don't think your debt needs to have anything to do with this. Just you pay it off as you can pay it off. If it's paid off before you're married, that's great. If not, it's our debt together. I don't want you to feel like this is some shame and baggage you're bringing into this, because guess what? He gets Maya. That's way better than some student loan debt that we're going to knock out real quick.
Correct. One last question. I'm not a very forward woman, right? But I don't want to be the one to say, hey, I know we had this conversation, we talked about this, let's go get married. That's not me.
What you can say is, you said you wanted me to move in, and you know, I've been praying about this and thinking about it. And as a Christian, I think the Bible tells us not to do that, so I'm not going to do it. So when you're ready to get married, we'll move in together. When do you want to do that?
Okay.
But I mean, you're answering his question. You're not asking him to get married. You're saying, you know, I'm okay with the progression of our relationship being an engagement, a short engagement, and a marriage. But if that's and after that we will live together, and that's how I'm willing to do it. That's what you told us your values are. You said I'm a believer, I'm a person of faith, meaning you want to follow what the book says, and you think that God has a plan for your life, and it's not shacking up. It's what you said, and just tell him that. It's not forward, it's answering his question. You're not forward, you're just responding.
And he's a soldier, he can handle direct feedback. Trust me.
It sounds like some of the stuff he's doing right now. He's in a situation where he gets direct feedback a lot.
I don't need it at home too.
I suspect that, yeah. And just go, if you want to talk about how we go forward in our relationship in that context, we can do that. But I need to give you the answer to your question, and that is I'm not going to live in the same house with you, sleep in the same bed with you until we're married. Because it's against my values. And that's an okay answer. It's not prudish, it's who you are. And you're allowed to be you, by the way.
Here's the alternative that we have seen time and time again. Well, Dave, we've been together for 9 years, and we live together, and I just don't know if he's ever going to... That's what happens.
Yeah, well, and, still confused about who owns the mustard.
Exactly. No, we Venmo each other.
We still split the grocery bill like we're roommates.
Oh, gosh.
It's just nuts.
I can count on 0 fingers how many times I've Venmo'd my wife. It's just not a way, not how God intended. Not what Venmo is to be used for. It's just
I
weird.
can count on 0 fingers how many times I have Venmo.
There we go. He's not there. Sharon prefers chicks.
Period.
She's old school.
Period. I'm just saying, at all. At any time to anyone ever. So I don't even have the app. I don't even know how it works.
I would love for someone to Venmo request you for like dinner. We split that day. I need 548.
It's happened. I just said, here's 10. Give it up. And so now you owe me. So there we go.
You got the
I don't
Costanza.
like being in debt.
Dave has the George Costanza wallet, but instead of cards, it's just filled with cash. It's amazing.
Not true. That's funny, but it's not true. This is the Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, George Kamel here. No matter what platform you use for news or entertainment, you and I both know it is way too hard to keep your feed from getting jumped up with bad content. I know I'm not the only one who's gone searching for The Ramsey Show, only to find myself 2 paws and 12 videos deep in a kitten hole on YouTube, which is great, but not what I'm looking for right now. And heck, if you're tuning into this digitally, there's probably some weird, scammy, suggested content trying to play in the sidebar right now.
Cryptocurrency.
See what I mean? And that's why I love the Ramsey Network app. It is the best place for uninterrupted, easy access to the content that keeps you focused on your goals. It's all Ramsey, all the time, which means you don't have to worry about getting off track. With over 7,000 hours of Ramsey content, yep, you heard that right, 7,000. This is your one-stop, single destination for advice you can trust and nothing you can't. So do yourself a favor, get rid of the distractions, and dial things in. All you gotta do is search Ramsey Network app in the App Store or click the link in the show notes to download the Ramsey Network app today.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and to create actual amazing relationships. George Kamel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. His book, #1 bestseller, is Breaking Free from Broke. You jump in, we'll talk about your life and your money. It's 888-825-5225. Nairi is with us in Atlanta. Hi, Nairi. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Yes, sir. So, I am 36 years old. I'm a single mom of 4. I make about $55,000 annually, and I have about $28,000 in debt. Credit card debt, personal loans, a title loan, and I'm kind of in arrear on my mortgage. I recently filed bankruptcy in May. But I realized after watching your show, and I have your book, The Total Money Makeover, I decided to dismiss the bankruptcy case. Because after I added up my debt, and then I looked at the fees that the lawyer was going to charge me over 5 years, I was like, no, so I'm extremely excited, but I'm nervous at the same time. And I just wanted you guys to tell me, am I making the right decision?
Okay, did you actually file bankruptcy?
So May 2nd, the attorney filed the bankruptcy. And then, recently, I'd say about 2 weeks ago, I told him to file a motion to dismiss.
Okay, so you did. Filed Chapter 13. And then voluntarily dismiss your 13. So you're still behind on your mortgage?
Yes, I'm still behind.
Okay. And, well, here's our rules. No one gets paid anything out of your income until you have food any credit card bills? You got a title part on your car?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you
And
better-
that's about 8,000.
yeah, and you have a monthly on it, right?
Yes, and that's about 304.
Yeah, you better pay that one. It'll pick that car up in about 30 seconds.
You got personal loan as well?
I have personal loans.
No,
I have
no, they don't get a dime,
personal
and
loans.
credit cards don't get a dime. But you pay your car payment, you pay your lights, water, and we get your mortgage current before we do anything. Once your
Okay,
mortgage
so the
is
credit
current,
cards are in collection.
good, just let them sit there.
Okay.
And we need to get on a written budget. And how old are your babies?
Okay,
What is the guy doing?
I have a 5-year-old, 8-year-old, 12-year-old, and 15-year-old.
All right. You got family in the area?
Barely.
How you got in this position? You gotta back all the way up. Yeah, you can't go that way. You gotta back all the way up.
So I get compensation from the military. That's my main income. I got hired at Chick-fil-A.
Look at this shit. This dude is about to go on the highway the wrong direction.
And,
God damn it, dude. This is how you guys give truck drivers bad name.
like,
Who the hell did you get in this position?
Not been working a job.
so I have not been like working.
Look at this bullshit.
It's just been military.
And there's two of them in the truck.
Thank you for your service.
Where the hell were you gonna go?
I think the kiddos are going to have a single.
Dang, dude.
And unless you're managing a Chick-fil-A or in a management program, you're just going over there to run.
What the hell?
No thank you. You need a real job. You need a real career on top of your military disability. Enough to be able to afford daycare or after school care or whatever it is, so that you can go make another 55. I want your income. I want you to get a full-time job and get back to work. You don't have a choice. You're a single mom that's broken and behind on her house. So sitting at home collecting the military is not cutting it for you. It's not working. So we have to change the recipe if we want a different kind of cake, right? And so, yeah, you need a full-time job to go with your military disability. And it needs to be a substantial, good career for you that you look back 20 years later and you've made a lot of money and you've helped a lot of people and you've done a lot of good work. And I want you plugged into something like that. I'm not mad at Chick-fil-A. We've been friends with those folks for a very long time at the company level, on a personal level. I eat their chicken sandwiches all the time. So I'm not mad at all about Chick-fil-A. I think you need more.
Yeah, we need an actual sustainable career that she can sink her teeth into and get out of this debt fast. Because if she can even create 30 grand extra in income, well, we can knock this debt out in under a year.
Yeah, Nairi, I'm going to send you a book by Ken Coleman called Find the Work You're Wired to Do, and it has the Get Clear assessment in it. It'll give you a code, and you'll jump online. I'm going to give it to you free. And I want you to jump online and take that and pretend like that you were 18 years old or 19 or 20 years old and you didn't have any kids, and you said, okay, what am I going to do with my life? What's my career going to be? What's my future look like? Because you've been reacting to life rather than happening to life. And it's gotten you into a mess. And so I want you to get on the other side of this and start dreaming again about what a prosperous, wealthy Nairi would look like and how she would get there. And that involves it may be some steps to get to a different career, a big time. Maybe you've always wanted to be an X, whatever X is, and you maybe need to go take a class or two or get a certification to be one of those. I don't know what that thing is, but I want you to have some direction for you. You've lived your life for others so far, and it's not even serving them well. So I want you to
create some vision for what you want your life to be like.
Yeah,
40
some big time goals of where I'm going to be in 20 years. Yeah. Yeah. So hang on. Christian will pick up. We'll get you that. And good stuff. Good question. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Just to clarify for everybody listening, a Chapter 13 bankruptcy is a payment plan that takes 60 months to go through. You pay 100% of your student loans, 100% of any secured debt, like a car loan or title loan as an example, your mortgage, everything gets paid 100% except unsecured debt, which can be paid a percentage of. So the credit cards, personal loans could be 70% of what's owed, 40% of what's owed, depending on how the formula worked out over 5 years. Usually folks can do a better plan themselves and get out of debt a lot faster by increasing their income.
Here's the hard truth. Your investment dollars could be winding up in the pockets of companies that hold positions that you don't agree with. Yes, that's right. People are unknowingly putting money into big tech giants and household brand names that don't match up with their core values. But there's good news. Timothy Plan is at the forefront of biblically responsible investing. That means Timothy Plan uses a strategy that lets investors chase competitive returns while staying rock solid in their beliefs. So if you're ready to invest with a clean conscience, it's time to check out Timothy Plan. Contact your financial advisor today to see if Timothy Plan is right for you. Visit timothyplan.com for more information. timothyplan.com. Investing includes risk, including possible loss of principal. For investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus or summary prospectus, if available, at timothyplan.com. Read carefully before investing. Mutual funds distributed by Timothy Partners, Ltd., and ETFs distributed by Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
George Kamel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. Kyle is in Boston. Hey, Kyle, how are you?
Hi, Dave. I'm good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So I just paid off a little under $50,000 in consumer debt.
Good for you.
Since March.
Way to go.
Consumer debt and an auto loan.
How did you do that since March?
Using the Every Dollar app.
Did you have a pile of money in your bank or something when you started?
No, I'm in my second year of owning an event rental business, and it's been pretty good.
Okay, so you're just making a lot of money and you just dumped it all on debt. Good for you. Way to go.
Highway 401 East.
Yeah. So I have $68,000 in student loans and then $179,000 in mortgage. So I'm kind of looking for your advice on the next steps in paying this off. I do okay financially.
What's your income?
And then teaching is about $65,000, and then the event rental business is a little bit over 100. So about 165.
Are you doing the event rental stuff part-time?
It goes from March to November, and then the school year. I mean, they overlap with the school year a little bit, but...
Okay. Amazing. So you're making 165. This keeps up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the student loans would be next in your debt snowball. Are those broken down into several different student loans?
Yes, they are. However, I had a question on the order of paying these debts off because, I have no kids now, but I could see myself settling down and having kids in the next few years. I'm really trying to hammer away at all of this before I have kids and get married. And when I think about what's more important to me as far as priority and having peace of mind when I have kids, I keep going back to the mortgage before my student loan, which I know is opposite of what you typically teach. And then being a teacher, I'm also in a master's program right now, and will be for the next year and a half or so. So I'm able to defer them for a bit. So I just didn't know your take on that.
I still don't think kicking the can down the road is going to be a blessing to you. And is there a person in your life right now? Are you dating somebody? Or is this just future thinking, one day I want to... Okay. I wouldn't worry too much about all of that and what the mortgage is going to be one day. I would focus on knocking out all of your consumer debt right now. And the mortgage will get paid when it gets paid. And it's also going to appreciate as long as you have that at home. It's going to go up in value. Student loans I would not kick down the road. Do you have the money to pay down these debts in the next year? You make 165.
You paid off 50 since March. You'll be done by what?
So So you throw
Yeah,
10 grand a
almost
month.
everything I made was being dumped into it. Yeah, it was
I know, but I mean, you
$12,500.
just keep doing that. You'll be done by October with your student loan.
Well, it does slow down a bit because my business slows down a bit.
In
and then money
November?
comes up to it. Yeah, in November.
That's what you said. I said you're going to be done by October. You paid 50 grand since March. Pay another 50 grand and be done with this thing.
And you'll free up all the payments from those student loans.
And then pay off your mortgage. And, next year, next 2 years, you pay off your mortgage. Dude, you're killing it. You're a stud.
Do you have money in savings, Kyle?
About 15 grand.
Okay. Is that partially for the event rental business, or is this just sort of your personal savings?
That's for the event rental business.
Okay. Well, I think you can knock out these student loans, free up the payments, get a fully funded emergency fund, and start investing, and then begin paying off the mortgage.
Here's the thing. At the end of the story, 3.5 years from now, you have zero debt either way. If you pay off the mortgage first and then pay off the student loan, you pay off the student loan first, which is the correct thing to do, and then pay off the mortgage. 3.5 years from now, you're done.
I guess I'm just kind of planning for worst case scenario, like with just everything.
Yeah, but you know what? Why did you pay off the other debts?
Well, the monthly payments are just so ridiculous that
Somebody convinced you that you needed to get out of debt. And then you called them and asked them, should I really get out of debt?
Yeah.
Do it, man. Knock out the student loan as fast as you possibly can.
Don't wait until
Quit
everything's paid off.
screwing around with your math theories and knock this stuff out. Knock it in the head. It's worked for you. Don't quit doing what is working. It's working. Finish.
And it's very
Finish the
successful,
race.
working very fast. And let me tell you this, Kyle. Do not wait until your mortgage is paid off to start a relationship or
Good
get married
God,
or
no.
have kids. I'm from Boston. Half my family's like this. They're working on their third master's degree, and they're going, well, one day when I'm settled, No, one day it's not going to happen. Just, if you want to be in a relationship, we can start a relationship. If you want to get married, get married. The debt will solve itself as you begin your
You're doing great. Just finish the work. You see, you're doing it. Don't stop. Knock the student loan out. Do it by October. Sit down. When you get off the phone, sit down and lay it out. Lay it out on your little spreadsheet. Your spreadsheet that I can do. And 56,000. We've already done 50 since March. I can do it in my head. You're done in October. Okay? Just do it again. All you did was you were selling tents. Don't let your foot up off the gas. List those student loans out, smallest to largest. Work your debt snowball. Attack. Drop a freaking atom bomb on that thing and be done with it. Quit screwing around with, I don't know if I'm gonna pick. No, get rid of it. This is what you got to do. Done.
Hope that's clear.
Nick is in Minneapolis. Hey, Nick, how are you?
Okay, how's it going?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
So in March, I started a landscaping company. Since then, I have netted $250,000 and some change, and I have not paid myself whatsoever out of it. And I'm just kind of curious, how should I go about that? If I should put myself on payroll, or if I should do like owner
You have $250,000 sitting in a checking account for a long
building patios and
Okay, in your patio business, you have a checking account, and it has $250,000 sitting there.
It's got just about $375,000 because that's what I grossed. But
You got bills to pay out of that?
Not out of that. My equipment I own outright.
All your cost of material. Okay. Now, you have a separate account for your business, correct?
Correct.
Good for you. Wow!
That's under my LLC.
You're freaking amazing!
Is it just you, or do you have a big team?
Listen, just write this down. Send it to Dave's Bahamas Fund.
There we go.
I'm just kidding. P.O. Box. Wow. Oh my gosh. Very cool, man. I'm so proud of you. All right. Stud, here's what we do. When you move money out of your business that's an LLC and you take the money home, you need to withhold 25% on yourself because that's going to be your taxes. So if you take $100,000 out and move it home, move 25 grand into another little savings account over here to the side that you never touch, because you need to be filing quarterly estimates on a small business or you're going to get penalized. And you have to you're supposed to be filing quarterly estimates on your profits. And if you don't do it the first year, you don't get penalized. But in year 2, 3, and so on after that, you'll get penalized. So go ahead and get with an accounting person, get with a tax person, and get your quarterly estimates set up. They're not hard. It's a one-page form. It's, what I took in minus my expenses is my profits times my tax rate, and you've withheld on yourself, and you got that $25,000 out of that 100 sitting over here in the account. You'll have the money to pay your quarterly estimates. Otherwise, you're going to get behind with the KGB, and you don't want those people calling. I mean, the IRS. You don't want them calling on you. Okay.
Okay.
So then how much can you take home? I mean, you could take home anything that doesn't leave the business in threat. If you're paying all of your expenses, whatever's left is profit, you could take it all home and use it on your baby steps, and I would. Way to go, stud.
Impressive. Man.
Some patio building.
Patios.
Yeah. Meanwhile, over in wherever, I'm unemployed.
With a 4-year degree that I can't use.
Is the Ramsey Show.
This is Deloney, and I'm always railing against the summer because everyone uploads the highlight reels, their perfect bodies and perfect vacations and perfect kids. And I know they're not real, and I also know that I'm blessed beyond my wildest dreams, but I still find myself wishing my life was like other people's. And based on the data, I know this is happening to you too. Comparison is wired into us, but comparison can also become the thief of joy, because we can feel like we're not enough and begin acting and thinking in ways we would never think otherwise. When it all gets to be too much, think about contacting BetterHelp. BetterHelp is 100% online therapy staffed with licensed therapists. It's convenient, flexible, and suited to fit your schedule. By the way, therapy isn't just for those who've experienced major trauma. It's for all of us who are ready to get out of the comparison spin cycle and find our own peace and joy in the life we're creating. Stop comparing and start focusing with BetterHelp. Visit help.com/Deloney today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Deloney.
George Kamel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. Thank you for joining us, America. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Today's question comes from Leslie in Nebraska.
Here's what Leslie has to say. I recently found out my husband wants a divorce. He says he's felt that way for about a year, but I suspect it's been much longer. I've been a stay-at-home mom for 26 years, and I'm afraid he's going to leave me and our kids who still live at home with nothing. What do I need to do to put myself in the best possible position when he finally pulls the plug? How do I protect myself and our children? I haven't been able to trust him in our marriage, and I know I won't be able to in the divorce proceedings either. I'm willing to do the work, but I just need to be pointed in the right direction so I don't waste time and money getting myself together. Oh, Leslie, I'm so sorry. That is awful, and especially scary for stay-at-home moms who are very vulnerable in these situations because they haven't had the income for this long. So step one is kind of get a lay of the land and as much as you can about what's actually going on in the finances. He's probably been like, honey, I got this, don't worry about it, and left her out of it on purpose.
Yeah, it's very possible. You're not vulnerable at all, Leslie. In Nebraska, you're due half of all the assets, and a whole bunch of his income for alimony because you've been in a long-term marriage, and a whole bunch of his income for child support. So he's the one that's vulnerable. He's just so dumb he doesn't know it yet. So, what you need to do is go get an attorney today. You talk to a divorce attorney today, and they will tell you what the laws in Nebraska will demand that he does. He doesn't have the choice of leaving you with nothing. The law doesn't allow it. And so you need an attorney to tell you how life works and how the law works, because apparently neither one of you or him, know that. And that'll give you some peace, because you'll go, hey, I got, we're going to sell the house, and there's, $500,000 worth of equity, and I'm going to get $250,000 out of that. And, he's got $150,000 in his 401k, I get 75 of that. Oh, he's got this, we've got that, we get half of that. So you're okay on the short term. Now, long term, it sounds like you need a new career. And so, what are we going to be when we grow up? What's the next chapter of our life? What's the new version of Leslie Goes to Nebraska look like?
Yeah, I mean, she's got all the kids sound like they're grown and gone. She's been a stay-at-home mom for 26 years.
Leave me and our kids who still live at home. But yeah, you need to go get a job, and you need to start having a career. And what are you going to do with your life?
What's retirement?
You know, if you were 20 when you got married, you're 46. If you were 25, you're 51. And so you've got a lot of life left ahead of you. There's an encore here, and a chapter 2, a second act, whatever we want to call it. And you're gonna have a great life. And you're gonna realize when you're super happy and prosperous 4 years from today how miserable it was living with this sap. So good riddance. That's what it sounds like. I'm sorry you're going through this, but that's the way the story's going to end if you will embrace two things. One is get some legal counsel, and two is start developing you a career path as soon as you possibly can. And so, you know, what's the next thing for Leslie? This chapter is coming to a sad ending, but it is ending, and what do we do from here? So, that's fun. Doug is in San Jose. Hey, Doug, what's up?
How are you, sir?
Better than I deserve. How are you?
About the same, I guess. Probably better than I deserve, but I'm working on it.
Cool. How can we help?
I'm calling. I own a small construction company. Married. My wife's a nurse. We own 2 homes in San Jose, and we're broke.
Why are you broke? You're a nurse. You got a construction company.
Because I don't know how to manage money.
Oh.
How much debt do you got?
I've got a loan with the company, 130. I got a HELOC on one of the houses for 150. One of the houses I owe $700 on, and one I owe $600 on.
Okay. What about the one you live in?
The one that I live in, I owe $600 on.
So you owe $700 on it, and plus 150, that's $850. What's the other one worth?
The one that I live in?
No, the other one.
The other one is worth about $2 million, between 1.8 and 2.2.
And so if you sold it, you could be debt-free.
Yes.
So why are you hanging on to the investment property?
Because for my kids, I imagine, and that's, I don't have a 401k, and I kind of figured that was, would be my money that I could, give to the kids.
Okay. Well, and then you call me and you're broke, so this is not working.
Yeah, so I'm looking for a plan.
Basically, you borrowed a HELOC, an SBA loan, and kept a home mortgage in order to buy an investment property. That's in essence what has happened. Or in order to keep an investment property, keep from selling it. See, if you had sold it, you wouldn't have the HELOC. And so now you can sell and not have all of those things. That's a good start. That's probably where I'm starting. And is that the only debt you've got?
I believe I probably have 20,000 in credit cards.
Okay. And then we need to sit down and start living on a plan, a budget, so that you and your wife sitting together with every dollar out. Go through Financial Peace University. I'll give you a book. That's my gift. If you'll do it, okay, go through the class, sit down, start writing out a plan. So what do you build with your construction business? What kind of buildings do you do?
It's actually, it's a waterproofing company, and we work on commercial buildings mostly, and apartment buildings, decks, and underground parking garages, and podiums, and planners.
And so you have to, I presume you have to detailed plan and a bid to your customers, don't you?
Absolutely.
And then you have to execute that detailed plan and bid in order to make a profit and in order to deliver the service as promised. Is that right?
Yes. Yes.
All we need to do is apply that exact same skill set to your monthly budget. I'm going to lay out a plan where money's going to go in detail. We're going to execute the plan. And the two of you and your wife, need to agree to that. The month begins just like you and the customer agree to the budget and the schedule of the job when you get the new job, when you're bidding a job. And so, now some people do it out of their hip, it professionally, and if you'll apply that exact same mentality,
Actually, it was to build.
you're going to be right back in a mess again. So it's a two-part answer. You got to change your habits, get on a plan, start executing like you were doing a job with your spouse, in agreement, hang on, Christian will pick up, we'll get you signed up for everything for free, and if y'all will go do it, we'll help you do it. And then you'll be safe. If you sell the rental and keep doing the stupid stuff, you're right in a hole with no rental to sell. Don't do that.
Hey guys, are you ready for the secret to help you reach those money goals that you've been dreaming about? It's simple. You gotta get on a budget. With our budgeting app, Every Dollar, you'll get intentional with your money and build the habits that will make those dreams a reality. And we'll be with you every step of the way, from your first budget to that retirement home on the beach. Download Every Dollar for free on the App Store or Google Play. Remember, today, download Every Dollar for free on the App Store or Google Play today.
If you live like no one else, later, you can live and give like no one else. You pay a price to win. If you've done that and you've gone through baby step 3, meaning you're out of debt except your home, and you have your emergency fund in place, then you're in baby steps 4, 5, and 6 simultaneously, saving for retirement, kids' college, paying off the house. And at that point is when we say, okay, go out to eat again, buy the couch, go on vacation again, that kind of stuff. But when you're in baby steps 1 through 3, you don't do that. So that's why we named our cruise that we're doing in March the Live Like No One Else Cruise, because it's for baby step 4 and beyond, obviously. If you want to come and celebrate your debt freedom or celebrate your reaching the baby steps millionaire's pinnacle or whatever it is you're doing, we want to celebrate with you on the Live Like No One Else Cruise. 100% of this first class, high class Holland America ship will be Ramsey people. It's going to be Sharon and I and all the Ramsey personalities. Manit Chauhan from the Food Channel is our friend, and she's just incredible. She's going to do some cooking demonstrations. Stephen Curtis Chapman, multi-Dove winner, award. What am I trying to say? What's the other award?
Yeah, Dove Awards, Grammy Awards.
Grammys. I couldn't remember. You're trying to give him an Academy Award.
There's too many.
Well, the reason I got distracted is Stephen was at my house last night, and guess what? Last week he was inducted into he's the first Christian artist to ever be inducted into the Grand Ole Opry.
No way, that's
Yeah.
incredible.
He played the Grand Ole Opry when he was 19 years old, when he was doing shows at Opryland. It's a great story. And messed the words up because he was so nervous on a George Strait song.
Oh, wow.
Or a George Jones song. And so he tells that story all the time because he's humble, he's funny. And so Ricky Skaggs, friend of mine, was there to do the induction, and they surprised him. He didn't know it was going to happen, and he told the whole story last night. It was just fascinating. So
that's special.
So
add another one to his
Grand
resume.
Opry inductee Stephen Curtis Chapman will be one of our guests on the cruise. We love having him. Dina Carter, country artist, obviously will be there.
Strawberry One.
Yeah, there we go.
We got magicians.
And, we got
comedians, songwriters.
Our favorite pastors is going with us. It's going to be Ramsey all week. We're going to have stuff here. I mean, there's no shows on the thing. It's all stuff. It's all of speaking and teaching and doing different things, and all these different other performers and things be doing their thing. It's going to be a blast. The Live Like No One Else cruise. Oh, by the way, we're also going to Turks and Caicos, St. Thomas, Puerto Rico, the Bahamas. Pretty incredible. So it's almost sold out. It's March 22 through 29, but you could still get a cabin if you go ahead and get it right now. Don't screw around with this. You're about to miss it.
Yeah, I'm looking at the site now. The suites are all sold out. One of the staterooms is sold out. So there's 2 staterooms left you could even book.
Two types.
Two types.
Yeah.
Not 2.
Not just 2. Yeah. But there's more than 2 rooms, but not many. I mean, there's a handful. So you need this done. And you can put up $600 deposit, and before the cabins are gone, And then if somebody drops out, if you wanted to upgrade, you could upgrade. You could do all kinds of stuff. But you got to get your foot in the door here, and you got to get this locked down before it gets away. RamseySolutions.com/cruise. Again, it's on one of the top Holland America ships. It's almost new. It's a fabulous, fabulous product, and we're excited. It's gonna be the first time we've ever actually done one of these, and it's gonna be big. It's gonna be amazing. All right, Tyler is in Cincinnati. Hey, Tyler.
Hey, Dave and George, how y'all doing today?
What's up?
Hey, long-time listener, second-time caller here. I'm going to ask my question first and then provide some family and financial context after that. The question is, I've been maxing out my 401k since I began gainful employment about 10 years ago. I now have the opportunity to contribute to a 401k Roth. I'm just not sure what percentage to contribute to that.
100.
100%, even though the 401k has a significant balance to it.
No, I'm not moving the significant balance. I'm talking about contributing. What you put in from this day forward should be Roth.
100%. And any guidance or recommendation on the risk of the funds? Aggressive, moderate?
Well, you'd stay if you were in the same, we talk about 4 types of funds. If you're diversified across those 4 types, you'll still invest in those same funds. You just get the Roth treatment, which means it's after-tax dollars that grow tax-free. So it doesn't change the way you're investing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. We recommend 4 types of funds: growth and income, aggressive growth, and international. But did you know?
I did, yeah.
Okay, so it doesn't change whether Roth or whether it's traditional. You do the same exact mix of funds.
So you just leave the traditional alone. It'll continue to grow, and you begin investing any new income into the Roth portion.
How much is in the funds in the traditional?
300.
And what's your household income?
Household 270.
And are you out of debt, house and everything?
The only debt is the mortgage.
How much is that?
My wife and I, the mortgage 400.
Okay. Yeah, when you get that knocked out, I'm going to begin to move some of the traditional with out-of-pocket cash. So, like, let's say the house was paid off, you're still making 300. By then you probably are, right? You're still loading everything up as much as you can load it up. I'm going to move 100 a year out of that 400, and when you move 100, it's going to cost you about 25 out of pocket, give or take, or maybe 30. Equivalent of having invested another 30.
Mm-hmm. Now, for my family situation, I'm wondering if this changes the strategy. I'm married with 3 young kids. We have a 4th due in September. My wife and I both work. We're both 35. We've both been maxing out our Roth IRAs and 401ks since we started employment. We have 529 set up for the 3 kids. We'll have it set up for the 4th one in September. In retirement right now, we have about 1.3 in savings. And with that context, does it change anything with that plan? And if we reach a salary point where we cannot contribute to the Roth 401k, is there a way to begin that 401k back up and still contribute?
The Roth has the exact same limitations as the traditional 401k. The only reason you would reach a salary point you couldn't do a 401k would be if your company had a problem with highly compensated people. And it was out of balance, and they had to back down how much you could put in.
There's an income limit for the Roth IRA, but not the Roth 401k.
There is no income limit for the Roth 401k.
Correct.
Okay.
And even with the IRA, you could do a backdoor Roth IRA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm vaguely familiar with that. I need to do some research on my end.
You need to just sit down with your smart Mr. Pro. Also, let me back up a little bit, because you've done such a great job. Congratulations, you're a millionaire at 30. I mean, you're amazing. You've done a great job. But if you're going to follow the baby steps, which is what we suggest, you would only be putting 15% away until you got the mortgage paid off. And I think you're putting more than 15% away.
That's about 40K total. So if they're both maxing out their 401ks, that's already over that amount.
Yeah, okay.
So you may want to back down slightly, put more toward the mortgage, knock it
It's a
out.
minor detail in your situation, but the wealthier you are, the more important it is for it to be Roth. Because Roth doesn't force you into, when you're 72, into required minimum distributions that would throw you up a tax bracket. Because Roth is 100% tax-free. It does not have required minimum distribution. And the traditional does. It gets you into a pinch. So like, dude, when you get out to my age, and I've got, a bazillion dollars in my stinking retirement, and because I've been doing it a long time, and I've maxed it for a long time, and a lot of money in there. So I've moved it all to Roth years ago and paid it out of my pocket. The difference, like I discussed with you, if you haven't done that, like I had a guy call in the other day, it was $8 million. And the amount he's required to take out throws him in the top tax bracket.
Even 10%, $800 grand.
Yeah, with the required minimum distribution at 72, so he's screwed. You got it. The Roth escape that. This is the Ramsey Show. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. George Kamel, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author of the book Breaking Free from Broke, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Wolfgang's in San Antonio. Hi, Wolfgang. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure. How can we help?
So my question's about eating out. So I'm 29, trying to my savings budget a little bit more this year, and part of that is eating out less. But I'm doing fairly well financially, and it's been hard or weird or I don't know, maybe guilty to say no to friends and coworkers who I know make less than I do, and they go out to eat with them, and I'm just trying to make that budget decision. So I'm looking for some guidance just on that thinking process.
So are you running into situations where they're going like, oh, come on, man, and you're going, hey, I can't do it, I'm on a budget? What's the conversations like, and what's the pushback?
I never say I'm on a budget, but I have been packing my lunch more at work and just sort of saying no to things, saying I'm tired or, I got some commitment and sort of making excuses to get out of that, but the driver is budget.
So what is it you would feel guilty about? You're doing what you want to do. Why would you haven't done anything wrong? Why are you guilty?
I guess it's because I like I said, I do. I make over $100,000 a year. Got a couple side gigs going, and I drive a really nice car, and it just feels weird. The social aspect of saying no to it, just for the money reasons, even though that is a goal I have financially.
Yeah, it doesn't feel weird to me. I think it's just you're just smarter than most people. Most people, that other people run their lives, and instead you're actually running your life. The people that build wealth and the people that are successful in anything long ago quit taking a poll from the public. And that's you. You quit taking a poll. You're just kind of wondering, am I a goofball or something? No, you're not a goofball. I think what you're doing is very wise. Now, if you said, I never go out to eat under any circumstances and I make $100,000 a year because I'm just a complete freaking type, I'll probably tell you to loosen up a little bit, but that's not what you're saying. You're just saying they go out to eat every freaking day and most days you bring your lunch. Whoopee, who cares?
Are you saving for an emergency fund, Wolfgang, or is this for another savings goal?
This is long-term savings. I have some in savings, some in cash savings, and generally debt-free, but I guess I'm just not quite happy with the trajectory and just looking to build that a little bit.
Yeah, and so you get more joy from their trajectory than you do avocado toast.
For sure.
Yeah. That just makes you like a grown-up. You're not being driven by other people's desire for you. You're being driven by your desire for you. You're making adult choices, and you're always going to have to tell somebody no the rest of your life. You don't ever have enough money to not say no.
And pretty soon they'll get the memo. You say no enough times, they go, I think he's good today.
And I'll tell you this, in my life it's not money, but it was for a long time I struggled with, well, so-and-so wants Dave to come and speak. Or I need some of Dave's time. I need to do this with Dave, this kind of crap. And, there was a whole lot more requests than there were hours a day. And so I had to learn to go, okay, I have to choose what's best for the things I'm working on, in the business or my family, and so I'm going to choose to be home this weekend because my teenage daughter has a prom over speaking for your event over here in some other state, which I could have easily done. So I had to tell someone no. We'll tell the right people. I'm not going to tell my daughter no. So consequently, I was there where every mom was. You need to be there to threaten the young man that is taking your daughter home. And so it worked. It worked perfectly. So, but I'm saying you're always going to have to. In my case, I had to learn to say no and not feel guilty because I'm saying yes to the right people. Okay, you don't get a vote over my kid. You don't get a vote over something that I've got the opportunity to work on something inside this business. I've got the opportunity to help you with your business. Oh, I think we'll be working on this one. This is what I do. And so and that doesn't mean I'm bad. It's just I have to learn to say no to something so I can say yes to something else. And that's all you're learning is there's always a trade-off. But you never reach enough income or time management or delegation or whatever that you have enough time or enough money that you never say no to anyone. That's never going to happen for any of you. So the art of saying no to others and to yourself in order to achieve a greater yes is an art form. So it's a good question.
Absolutely. Well, it's boundaries right there. And
Exactly.
Dr. Henry Cloud wrote the best-selling book on that. He's a friend of ours, and that's a hard thing to do, especially when you're younger. And I'm like him. I'm a people pleaser. So the one thing I want to do is just go, yes, absolutely, I'm in. And when I was getting out of debt or whenever I had a goal, I had to say no to a lot. But you'll find that the right friends stick around through that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you never do anything, number one. And number two, it's just, but I think the sooner you can learn to say no graciously, just, I'm sorry, I can't. I got other stuff I got to do.
I'll make it.
I'm so sorry. And, we joke that my personal assistant, Patty, has been with me for 23 years, and she has a sign out right in front of her thing. It says, no one gets to see the wizard. Not no one. No way, no how. Right? The line from Wizard of Oz, right? And
her office is in the path to get to
you can't get to me without getting through Patty.
And I would not dare darken the door.
Don't you dare. It's not good for your health. And, we joked for a long time. Patty's job description was no Dave can't come. Because we had to learn to say no. And it wasn't because we were stuck up. It's because if you don't say no to something, you can't say yes to the right stuff. And in your case, Wolfgang, you're saying yes to my long-term financial goals by saying no to avocado toast with my buddies. Right. And
you can initiate hangs that are on your terms that don't involve always going out to eat. There's a lot of things you can do and spend quality time without just always going out and spending money.
Absolutely.
Good question.
Yeah, I mean, we have the money to have someone come into our home and cook every night. My wife is an old-fashioned Southern cook that loves to cook. But even then, if we get to the point that she's cooked every night for everyone else, she'll go, no. If we're going to have a bunch of people over, everybody bring a dish. It's not because we can't afford the dish. That's not it. It's enough time, enough burn on her energy, enough burn on her time. And you go, our buddies get together and do a potluck like we're a bunch of, like we did when we were poor.
The old supper club.
Exactly.
Never goes out of style.
It's just wonderful.
There's an idea
time
for
with
you,
friends,
Wolfgang.
and you get to spend time with friends, and it's way cheaper than going out to eat. And you got a lot better quality atmosphere. Everything's better.
That's right.
Everything. So yeah, there's all kinds of ways to say yes. But I think it's an interesting philosophical discussion.
One of the best skills you can have is learning to say no.
Yeah. Power of no. That's my next one.
Like that.
Ramsey said no. There it is. This is the Ramsey Show. Listen, tickets for the Live Like No One Else cruise are selling fast. This is the ultimate debt-free vacation, and I can't wait to celebrate with all the folks who've worked their butts off and changed their family trees. We will be sailing through the blue waters of the Caribbean with the Ramsey personalities and other special guests. A bunch of cabin options are already sold out, so hurry and reserve yours with a $600 deposit today at RamseySolutions.com/events. George Kamel, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author of book Breaking Free from Broke, is my co-host today. Selling a house in this weird real estate market, buying a house in this weird real estate market is weird, hard, it's different, and it adds a level of uncertainty to the whole process that really shouldn't be there, but is there. And if you want to get rid of that, get with a pro. Now, the problem with the real estate business is it's fairly easy to get in. You got to pass a little test. It's not much. And it's fairly easy to get out. So when times get tough, all the people that are kind of half-butt doing the business, they bail. And as soon as it gets jumping again, they jump right back in. And so what you want to do when you're selling your largest asset or buying your largest asset, hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars, whatever your case is, you definitely want a pro. You want somebody that's they're not Aunt Sally who got her license 3 weeks ago because she thought it'd be fun. That's not a good idea right there. You really want to get somebody that sells 30 to 300 houses a year. And they know what they're doing. Well, that's what the Ramsey trusted real estate agents are. They're people that we have vetted for their level of performance. We coach them. They understand the Ramsey advice and systems. And so you're going to have an experience unlike you will get anywhere else. And you're going to get the house sold or the house bought or whatever it is you're trying to do, because the Ramsey trusted real estate agents are freaking amazing. They're the best. And so if you want to know who the Ramsey Trusted Real Estate Agent is in your area, you can find out for free. Just go to RamseySolutions.com/agent. RamseySolutions.com/agent. Monica is in New Orleans. Hi, Monica. How are you?
Hi, I'm well, sir. How are y'all?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
Okay, so my employer matched 401k uses Vanguard. So I scheduled a phone consultation with a Vanguard representative because I couldn't tell.
Where'd you go?
I wanted to make sure that I had 25%.
Whoa. Did you drive under a bridge or something? Okay, you scheduled a phone call with a Vanguard representative, and then what happened?
So I wanted to make sure that I had 25% going into each of those 4 types of mutual funds that you guys recommend: the growth, aggressive growth, and income international. Well, I couldn't tell based on the names that Vanguard gives their mutual funds what types they were. Like, they're very confusing names. So I wanted clarity on that. Well, while I had the Vanguard representative on the phone and he's going through and explaining which types of mutual funds are which, he kept impressing on me that I needed to maintain like 15 to 20% in bonds. And I said, well, bonds aren't really what I'm looking for. He said, well, you have to have a certain percentage of bonds. And he seemed rather insistent on it. And I said, no, I want 25% in each of these 4 types of mutual funds. And I was just wondering, why did he find it so important that I have some percentage of bonds?
Well, the theory in the... How old are you?
52.
The theory in the financial world is that bonds are lower risk than stocks. The problem with the theory is it's not true. Okay, so if you go pull up the bond market volatility and lay that beside a growth and income stock mutual fund volatility, you'll see they're about the same. If you looked at a chart of the volatility, the prices going up and down, okay, the market volatility. And so they're not less. And here's the other problem. Bond prices are dictated by the interest rate environment. And they work on an inverse of interest rate. Meaning, if interest rates go down, bond prices go up. If interest rates go up, bond prices and values go down. So this guy's an idiot. Interest rates have been increasing. In an increasing interest rate environment, if you buy bonds, you're going to lose your butt. You're going to, but what he's going on is the overarching theory that you need some bonds in your portfolio to have a lower risk profile. And the problem is that the theory is absolute hogwash, and he's just a kid on the phone that they trained to read a script. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just sad. That's where it's coming from. And again, I'm saying here's how bad the theory is, okay? The financial planning world also adopts a process that I don't agree with, or the theory I don't agree with, called asset allocation. Let's just talk about it even worse. Okay, let's get nerdy. Asset allocation, and you probably heard this one, Monica, is the older you get, the more conservative your portfolio needs to be. And so by the time you're 65, you need to have moved out of growth stock mutual funds into bonds and money market instruments.
Right.
Have you heard that one?
Yes.
That's the asset allocation theory. Here's the problem with the theory. I'm 63. If I move the millions of dollars that I have in my mutual funds into bonds and money market type instruments, high yield savings, that kind of thing, and I live 25 or 30 more years, it's going to destroy my wealth because they're not even going to keep up with inflation for 30 freaking years. And so if you're going to die in 2 years, yeah, you would move it away. But if you're 65 years old and healthy, you're highly likely that you're going to live into your 80s or 90s. And so asset allocation theory is absolute hogwash. But the problem is the financial planning community, not all of them, but by and large, are a bunch of freaking lemmings. They follow each other over a cliff, and they don't stop and do independent thought. So, like, you're running into this studying for your CFP, right?
Oh, absolutely.
George is studying for his Certified Financial Planning designation, and the asset allocation is preached like it's biblical truth.
Well, and the theory is that, well, if the market tanks, you have a little bit of a hedge because of the bonds. And so they won't be calling me yelling, where'd all my money go? It went down with the market. The problem is when the market's up, you don't see those returns. Well, what happened? The market did 20%, I only see 12.
And based on asset allocation in the old days, the financial planning world would say, all right, we're going to take a grandmother who's 70 years old, and we're going to put her in bonds. If you did that a year and a half or 2 years ago, she lost 50% of her value.
That's what happened with the banks. They invested all this money in bonds.
And they got screwed when the bond market tanked because interest rates went up.
So that's what happened to
remember, as rates go up, values go down. Rates go down, values go up. So we were always told in the old days, oh, you could put grandma in some Fannie Mae bonds. Just put her in some Freddie Mac or Fannie Mae bonds, mortgage bonds, right? They're safe. They're mortgage-backed securities. They're very safe. They're not going anywhere. Bull crap! As soon as mortgage rates go up, the stinking value of that portfolio goes down like a tank. I mean, it makes an aggressive growth stock mutual fund look like a wuss. It's amazing how bad it is. But we were taught that this is somehow low risk. It's not low risk, especially in a rising interest rate environment. Oh my God!
And they found, there was an interesting study, Dave, I need to find the chart, but they found that when you had a equities portfolio versus a bonds portfolio, it lasts longer in retirement. No duh.
Well,
so
it
if
makes
you're in
more.
retirement, it's going to make more and therefore
It makes
last longer.
more. And here's the other thing. Let's say I've got, let's just say somebody listening has $5 million, $4 million in their retirement account. Okay? You're not going to use the money anyway at retirement. If you got $4 million, you pull off 10% a year. That's $400,000 a year, and you didn't even touch the principal. So you're not going to use it. So it's not like you have to worry about it goes up or down or goes up or down. You're not using it anyway. You're living off a paltry percentage
on the money it's throwing off.
Of the money it's throwing off. So it's, yeah, the whole theory just pisses me off because somebody decided that was a thing to do, and then they all adopted it, and then they act like anyone who goes against that is blaspheming or
That's
something.
Dave, the blasphemer.
Dave, the blasphemer. Well, that's me, boys and girls. And you know what? That has cost, it's not real blasphemy, by the way. Just financial nerd
Not
blasphemy.
biblical blasphemy.
It's financial nerd blasphemy. from the certified financial Pharisees. There we go. Yeah. Not all of them are that way, but some of you people in that world, stop it. It's way too easy to put off making a will. And believe me, I've heard every excuse in the book. But not having the time is one excuse we can kick to the curb right now. Because these days, most folks can make a legally binding will on their laptop between loads of laundry. If you're wondering if you can make your will online or if you need a lawyer, we have a quiz to help you figure that out in less than 5 minutes. Just go to RamseySolutions.com/willsquiz. RamseySolutions.com/willsquiz. George Kamel, Ramsey personality, co-host of the Smart Money Happy Hour with Rachel Cruz. He's my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Stephen is with us in Seattle. Hey, Stephen, what's up?
It's an honor to be able to talk to you today.
You too.
And my question is, I have a zero interest loan that was a medical expense, and it sits around $15,000. And is it smarter to pay it off or to just pay it every month, since compared to inflation, making money just by paying it every month? It would seem that's advice I was given.
What do you make a year?
I make approximately $80,000 a year. I have several income sources.
I don't know who's giving you this advice, but you need to stay away from them. They're not very smart. Here's why. Okay. If you make 10% rate of return because you didn't pay this off and you get $15,000 out of 10% investment, you make $1,500. Okay, $100 a month. $100. We have surveyed 10,167 millionaires. 89% of them became millionaires starting with nothing. The number of them that became a millionaire because they failed to pay off a medical debt and instead invested the money and made 10%, made $1,500, was precisely 0. Millionaires don't believe crap like this. They get out of debt, stay out of debt, stay away from debt, build an investment portfolio, and that's how they become wealthy. And so this is like, you should get all the airline miles you can get, or you're going to get rich on 1% back from Discover Card, which means, by the way, you spend $100,000 on your Discover Card, you get $1,000 back. Now, under what circumstances do you trade $100,000 for $1,000 and that make you wealthy? None. Okay, I'll help you with that. And so this is the same kind of stuff. So quit playing some kind of intellectual games with tiny little amounts of money that's not going to make you wealthy. If you call me up and you said, I got $1,500,000 interest free, I guess we could talk about that. It'd be worth at least talking about it. I wouldn't do it, but we could at least have a discussion about it. It's just not even worth talking about.
Well, it doesn't sound like he has $15,000 sitting in a savings account. Otherwise, probably wouldn't have gone into debt for the medical. So, it's
pay it off as fast as you can pay it off.
It is living in your head rent free, considering you called about it. For that reason alone, just get rid of it. It's not worth the mental energy and brain calories.
Yeah, exactly. You're burning up stuff you don't need to burn up here for pennies. Just pennies. A couple dollars a day. Jackson's in Calgary. Hey, Jackson, what's up?
Hey, Dave, thanks very much for taking my call. How are you?
Better than I deserve.
I have a question. I'm in a situation I admittedly did not take your advice. I purchased a home with somebody before we were married. We are common law. We do have a prenup, and we've been together for quite some time. So there's no, I don't think we're at the risk of breaking up, if that makes sense.
So why
we're at the stage of getting, proposed, married, that sort of thing. But my partner has a line of credit, and I am super against debt. I'm into following the baby steps. I've created a bit of an investment portfolio myself, and I've gotten rid of all my debts, my credit card debts, and that sort of thing. I don't have any student loans. But I'm just wondering, how do I approach, or how do I guess I have approached how do I get through to my partner that getting rid of this line of credit that we have fallback? It isn't needed in our situation. You don't need an emergency line of credit.
Credit card? Is it a personal
it's a
line?
Of credit that the personal line of credit that the bank was willing to give.
Okay.
It can have a maximum of $20,000.
What's the balance? Is there any balance?
There is. There's a small balance of it would be between $6,000 and $8,000, which I'm certainly
What did that go to?
Sorry.
What was that for?
I think most of it is personal purchase.
Because it had nothing to do with fallback or emergencies. It was overspending.
So she's justifying spending money on stupid crap that she can't afford by saying, well, it's there for emergencies. And so therein lies the problem, is she's justifying a spending problem or addiction with this line of credit. And so guess what you can't do when you don't have a line of credit? Go into debt. And it sounds like you guys aren't aligned on your financial values, which is scary because you're in this situation now and locked into this. So you said there's no risk. I think there is risk here. This adds a real rift in the relationship because I don't know that you can change her mind. It may take a long time. She may never change.
Yeah.
Right.
So the bottom line is the reason she wants this is it allows her to do whatever she wants to do.
Right.
Instead of looking in the mirror and going, I have to tell myself no. Right. And that's an immaturity issue.
Do you guys have separate finances right now?
Mm-hmm.
We do, yes.
Okay.
We do have a prenup as well. So we put contributions for the mortgage payment and the house payments into a separate account. And then our individual accounts are all, protected by prenups.
So you have no debt, you have an emergency fund, and she has debt and has no emergency fund.
Correct.
Well, I think the whole thing is it's not a matter of convincing someone of your way of thinking. I would back up and just say, hey, let's dream together. Okay. My goal would be, if I was doing it, this is you talking, would be that we become wealthy, we're able to be extremely generous, we're able to travel, we're able to have nice automobiles, own our own home, pay it off, have complete stability, and become millionaires or multimillionaires. My goal is to do that. That's my dream. Now, what is the shortest route and what principles does the actual data tell us that gets us there? Now, if she says, oh yeah, that'd be cool, let's do that. Okay, then if we're going to become wealthy, how do we do that? And it's not by overspending $8,000 and putting it on putting it on a home equity line of credit that's supposedly there for emergencies. And that purse was definitely not an emergency. So that's not how we get there. And so what we need to do is we need to align and say, this is what, what are the processes? It's like if you sit down with your personal trainer, you hire a personal trainer and you're overweight. You say, okay, what's the goal?
What must be true?
What's the goal? Okay, I don't want a keg anymore. I'd rather have a six-pack. And so I'm going to get rid of the belly. How are we going to do that? We have to do these things. I don't want to do those things. I don't care. That's how you get rid of the belly. And this is, then you got to decide if you're going to align your behaviors with actual truth that takes you to your goals. And Henry Cloud says what you have to find a desired future. And that's any couple could sit down and say, we're going to have a dream date. This is our desired future. And we're going to be in agreement on our desired future. Then the next thing you have to say is, what has to be true that is not true now? Well, we obviously, the things we've done so far have not gotten us to that desired future, so we need to do some things differently than we did before.
And you reverse engineer
exactly
from the dream.
Exactly, and then you say, okay, what's my desired future? I don't have a belly. Okay, then what must be true that's not true today? No freaking donuts.
Caloric deficit.
Back up from do some pushbacks from the table as well as push-ups. And so there's some things. Both of these things have to happen. And so you can't outrun a Big Mac. And so your caloric intake is an issue. And so what has to be true if you want to get to that desired future? And any couple can do that on any subject. We want to raise kids that are good kids. Well, I didn't. Sharon and I decided we didn't want to raise kids that were good kids. We wanted to raise that became great adults. It's a different goal, different strategy, different goal. I'm not trying to raise Stepford children. I'm trying to raise kids who have some poise, some confidence, that can articulate and have a conversation with an adult and look you in the eye and shake your hand and, not be intimidated by everything around the block. That's a different goal. This is the Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, Isaiah 30.